All right, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to talk about the design process. So, if you're given a graphic design task, such as designing a logo, website, etc., there is a series of things you can do, 7 steps that are going to make it a much easier for you and much more effective. And these steps can be seen right here. We're going to identify the problem, do some research, brainstorm, sketch, create a digital version, get some feedback, and then do some refinement. So, first thing we want to do is define the problem. What do you have to do? What format and size does it need to be? So I got a Google Doc out and I got a client, DC Donuts, and they want us to design a logo. So we have 2 weeks to do this. And we probably want to actually write the date. So let's say 1/29/21. We want this, they said they want it to be round, circular. They want only the logo. It doesn't have to actually say donuts, but should be some logo that represents their company. They want it to look good on a website, so it has to be able to be small, viewed very small, but also something that can look good when it's large. And they want some sort of pastel color scheme. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look up do some research. So that's step 2. Now that we know exactly, we don't really need to worry about size, but because it's a logo, it's going to be various sizes. What kind of format do they want? They probably want a PDF of this when it's finished, and probably also a PNG. So now we got to find out who is the target audience. What are some logos you want to use for inspiration? What images remind you of the look you want to achieve? So I'm going to go online. I'm going to do a bunch of research. I'm going to look at just donuts in general and maybe get some ideas here. What feel do I want to go for when I put this logo? Which of these is appealing to me, and what do you think would be good to incorporate in the design? So something like this, not very appetizing. The colors are nice, but I don't know if it's something that I'd really want to eat. Something like this is pretty nice. So I might take this image and add it to my list of ideas for my research. I'm going to look at some other logos, donut logos, to get some ideas. I don't want to steal anything, but I want to, think about what might look good. And we can see that a lot of these have very round letters, or maybe something a little bit more refined like that. And we might want to ask the client, do we want this to look fancy? What's your clientele? Is this, something that's going to be in a expensive mall, or is it going to be something that's going to be in a strip mall in a, less wealthy neighborhood or whatever? Okay, so the next thing I might want to look into is fonts. What kind of fonts maybe would look good on this? So you can go to Adobe Fonts to get some ideas. You might want to look at some colors. You can go to Adobe Colors to get some ideas. And if you search up under Explore, you can look up colors. No, sorry, look up donuts and maybe get some ideas for some color schemes that might look good there. So here we have a bunch of different ideas, and maybe I like this one, but they did say they wanted pastel, so I have to keep that in mind, which means the colors are going to be kind of faded. So I might want to take some time to scroll through here, and maybe this one right here. And you could download this as a JPEG and stick it in there. I would probably just quickly use the snipping tool. And it gives you these numbers right there. Those are important. We'll find out why later. So I'll add that to my document where I have some more color schemes. So there's just some ideas for colors. All right, so now that I've done a bunch of research, and again, this would be taking much, much longer if I was doing this professionally. I might take an hour to do research, at least. Learn about the company, learn about other similar businesses in the area. Next, I'm going to brainstorm some ideas. So here, I'm going to write down some ideas I might have. Maybe it's going to be the DC. The C could be in the shape of a donut that has been bitten into. Maybe I would have DC on top, a donut in the middle, and donuts on bottom, rounded text. So it's kind of circular. So I'm just going to write down some ideas, just think it through. And this would also be a good time to do some thumbnail sketches. So I'm going to go into Photoshop, but you can do this on a piece of paper and maybe just do some quick sketches. And when we say thumbnail, we mean it's the size of your thumbnail. So if you put your thumb up on the screen, some of these are obviously bigger, but you get the idea. Nothing fancy, just very quick. Each one of these sketches maybe takes 30 seconds. Then you take a few of your top ideas, and I circled a few that I like, and then you would do some more detailed sketches and maybe really refine them. And that would be step 4. So to just take those ideas and just develop them a little bit further. So instead of just thumbnails, you actually create some detailed sketches. Next, I'm ready to create the digital version. So here I'm going to bring it into Illustrator or Vector, and I'm actually going to start designing some ideas. I might, use some rounded text to, this is stuff you haven't learned yet, but I might want to say, okay, I want to put donuts down here on the bottom, and type on this thing right here using the type on path tool, say donuts, and play around with some different fonts, etc. And maybe we put a donut here in the center, whatever it is. Play some different colors. Whatever you decide to do here, you do want to make many, many, many different versions of it. So if I like this, and I'm going to put my donut in the middle, however that might look, something like that. Then take this in the center and use our nice little, well, I can just use this tool. Again, this is all stuff you don't need to understand right now, but you will eventually learn how to do all this. But so yeah, and then I put DC on top, however that might look. Make a copy of it and say, hey, you know what? I want to try this with a different font. Let's see what it looks like with, I don't know, a very clean, like Arial font. And let's get rid of the stroke. Okay. I don't really like that, but let's try it with different colors. Let's say we go with this color scheme or whatever. Keep trying different ideas and seeing what you like. But the point is, by the time you're done, this is going to have multiple different versions. So that brings us to step 6, where we're going to get some feedback. So we're going to send these to our client and say, hey, which of these do you like the best? We're not going to show them the whole artboard. We're going to take our top 3-5 ideas and say, okay, this is what we're thinking. Which of these do you think would fit your company best? And they'll say, this one right here, but here's what I want you to do. Could you try it in a couple different colors? Or I don't really like this font, or, could you do a little bit of kerning where these letters are spaced out a little bit better, which is, again, stuff you don't need to know just yet, but eventually you'll get a chance to play with that. And then you say, okay, I made all the changes. Here is the top, let's say 2 ideas. Pick one. And they'll say, hey, this one, but we want you to make a few more changes. Okay, cool. So you get it back, you do final changes, you give it to them, and then you're done. When it's finished, you'll want to export it as a PDF for them so that they have a version that is not going to be made up of pixels, which is not what you want for a logo. Although this is, this is just logos. Export it to them, give it to them. You're done. You get paid, or you get your grade if it's for a class. The end. So use the design process every time that you are given an assignment or job for graphic design, or not just graphic design, any idea can kind of use a very similar process. The design process is used in a number of different industries. So yeah, that's it. Thanks.